I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
Sam Healy. Welcome back, folks.
And we're taking a look at Kickstarter and the projects on Kickstarter as we do, usually every other week. This week, we're going to be going a little farther than we normally do. Normally, we only take a look at projects ending in the next 14 days. Today, we'll be in the next 21 days because in 2 weeks, we'll be at Essen. And we're not going to be doing this at Essen, although there will probably be many of these Kickstarters at Essen.
We could literally do probably a live session because in that hall downstairs,
oh yeah,
like
there
go
are
around.
literally, I would say at least 20 Kickstarters in the middle of the hallway there.
It's not going to go over as well as it
It's
does
going to be
here,
like
though.
4 hours long too because each of them gives you like a 30-minute spiel.
I'm just saying, if we do that live,
can you
same
imagine?
way we do it here, we'll go to the game and be like, huh, okay, how many players? That looks terrible. Moving on. You know what I mean?
That would not be okay.
We're going to get kicked out of there.
Yes, that's true.
Toot sweet.
Actually, though, I think there's a lot of really cool Kickstarters going on right now. I was a little bit more picky, actually, because I wanted them to, because there was 21 days, so I didn't put on some ones that I might normally have put on.
So this is the good list.
I think there's a lot of really good games.
Has been curated.
I feel like Z's coming into this with a slightly bad attitude. We'll see. Most of the games in this list, I'm pretty pumped about.
No, probably like a solid half of these are good-looking games. That's not bad.
All right, let's take a look.
Let's do it.
All right. Oh, that was a short intro. Sorry. I wasn't. All right, here we go. Let's start with the first one. This is a relaunched Rocks. And if it wasn't doing well, we would say, well, that Kickstarter campaign, it's on the rocks. Anyway, I hope this one succeeds, actually. I like the idea of the marble drafting. I don't drink cocktails. Well, I guess I do. I drink virgin cocktails. But I like the idea of taking marbles and putting them together into things to make different mixes. I think this is a cool theme and a cool look, and I feel defensive already.
This could have very easily been. This could have very easily been another tired potion making game. Was it poison, like it said?
No, someone put "you've been poisoned" on here. No, I thought it was flavored water, and it was just water. So
yeah, you got a face like it was water spiked with pickle juice.
No, I was expecting a sweet sensation, and it was
not
lukewarm water.
All right, it's just you made a weird face.
Anywho,
you got to get yourself a cocktail.
As I was saying, this could have easily been like some tired, generic fantasy potion-making game.
You're right.
And they didn't do that. So
you know what?
That's +1 already.
I'll drink to that, man. You're right. No, this looks pretty cool. I like the Mancala thing going on. Yeah. Apparently, you got a bunch of marbles, and then drop them off one at a time, then take one of the bowls. It looks like all the players share the bowls. It looks neat.
Yeah, it looks good.
This guy said this to get the quote in the thing.
Said
this quote: "On the rocks is refreshingly smooth. It's 1 part Mancala, 2 parts recipe fulfillment with just a splash of Azul." He was fishing for the.
It sounds like one of those written reviews that like film critics write.
Yeah.
Where they try to be in theme with the movie.
Sure.
You know?
All right.
Like Gemini Man is a reflection of the times. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Those can verge on cringeworthy quite a bit of the time. It takes a light touch.
So here's a game made by the people who made the Fidget Cube.
Now
Thanks for making that.
This is crazy. This game, I went through, I was like, when I saw that, I was like, the Fidget Cube, like the actual Fidget Cube. So I clicked on the projects made. They have some canceled, iPhone holder thing. Like, they have, like, random stuff. The Fidget Cube made them $6 million.
I never knew the Fidget Cube was a Kickstarter, did you?
No, I don't think I remembered.
I just saw it in stores.
And they have a couple of games after that. This is a total, like, let's go back to our glory days move. Because that was the one game they made, or sorry, the one project they funded that made them buku bucks.
Yeah.
This just looks like a bit of a lame cash-in. I don't know. I wasn't feeling this one. I'll just go buy a fidget cube.
It's a cooperative
No, you
game.
won't.
Why not? I'm not allowed to fidget. I love fidgeting.
I fidget without a fidget cube. So
You do.
yes,
If you had
are
a
allowed.
fidget cube, it would break in like 2
I'd
days.
have to
Fidget
buy
cube
backups.
or the spinner?
Fidget cube, man.
You like the spinner
There's so
better.
many
I
different
like the
things.
spinners better. I like the way they look.
Yeah, but you're like good at it. You like holding. You're like, you know, you're like I need both hands still.
Practice makes perfect.
I
dude.
know, but you just love doing the.
I do. This I don't know. I didn't dislike the idea of this game. It's got that dice crafting aspect of it, but I think
this
they
is
focus
assemble all
on
the
it.
faces before your time runs out.
I know,
It's just
but that's the thing. But you do roll that, and it does give you, it gives your party more powerful actions over the course of the game.
Go down.
So
I think this is the
again,
one.
here's the thing though. They're focusing on this. They're making it huge. Like this is it's only one die in the game.
Really? Oh
That
my
you're
goodness.
doing this
oh,
on. I
okay.
think.
Keep going.
It's not all
Where
the
is
other
it?
ones.
Oh, is it this one? I think it's this one. Keep going. This is where they finally lost me. Keep going. There. Read that.
But Cthulhu, you can only speak in gibberish. If you roll
Oh,
3 blanks,
I didn't get that far down. I'm out.
It's just a dumb game. It's all about
Sorry.
like we made a fidget cube.
Yeah,
We're gonna make a game
no.
about this, but it's like a dumb take
I read that it was
these
a
are
cooperative
hat
game.
tokens. That's
I read
awesome.
that you could upgrade this die and make things better. And I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds cool. Let's go on to the next one because we had so many things to go over. No, I'm
I
sorry.
got that far. That's as far as I
Why?
got. And I was like, I got it.
Why? I was so on board with this game, and then that.
Cthulhu.
We'll see. My big.
You do get to pick, though. You do get to pick which of those. They're not just randomly.
This is
given
not your
to
pick of the week.
you.
All right.
Here he goes.
No,
Card
it's not.
game. The card game. A game about cards.
Sounds exciting. I can not control myself. My favorite part of this, somewhere, not too far down, they say they've made 3 projects.
Yes.
I clicked on the maker. It's
2?
something. This game canceled,
And then this.
and then
one again,
this. That's 2.
Yeah. Well,
Generously speaking,
that's
because this one's
Kickstarter.
ongoing.
That's Kickstarter that says that they've created 3.
No, they
projects.
wrote that in. No, like they wrote it in the page somewhere.
Oh, really?
I know it says 3 right there.
Yeah, it does underneath. That's their link. That.
They got a lot of
they
like.
said this is our 3rd campaign, like our 3rd thing. This is your 2nd thing. That's a 50% lie. Come on.
Okay. Well, they have a lot of good artists in this thing. I don't know.
Yeah, this guy's connected to comic book artists.
Well, yeah, no, the artwork looks cool. I like the idea of smashing together all of these different concepts from games into one singular card game, but
I like that as a joke.
it's about as tongue-in-cheek as deck building, the deck building game, and
Which I don't like.
worker placement, the worker placement game.
No, but this is
if
like
you draw
taking-
this card,
This is where
You
okay,
lose
I'm
the game.
glad you brought that up, sir.
yes.
Because if you scroll up, oh, I forgot you have your thing.
Backwards.
This is backwards, yeah, but it says right. Where is it? Where is it? Stop,
I don't know what you're
stop.
looking for.
It says that it is a very strategic. There it is. Despite sounding chaotic, this is a very strategic party game.
That word gets thrown around a lot by lighter
And then
games,
they
though.
include a card in a very strategic card game that just makes you lose if you top deck it.
It's an exploding kittens joke.
Come on, that's not strategic.
It's even a cat
I don't
that's
like it.
exploding.
I don't like it. I mean,
It's-
I
this
don't
is
mind
a-
the game.
this is-
I don't mind that this game exists. Don't lie and tell me it's strategic.
I mind that this
Well,
game
Needy
exists.
Salmon is obviously Happy Salmon. What's Explosive Island?
Fireball Island, I would imagine.
Yeah, okay. Moving on.
And then, yeah.
Wait,
blowing
go
up-
back. I gotta talk some more trash.
Code 3, which sounds serious until they get to the last line there. They're like, and eat donuts. Wink.
Yes.
And I was like, wait, what? And this game was also, from this artwork, looks like it came out in the 90s.
That's the point, I think.
Well, yeah.
Sure, and that's fine. This is from Black Key Games. What was the other one that they've made? I know I feel like I played
Well,
it
they
before.
made Code 1 and Code 2 before this.
No, Juiced for Fun.
Joust for fun. What is wrong with you?
Juiced is a
That's an
alternate
acceptable pronunciation,
pronunciation.
of
Are
the
you
word
serious?
joust.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah,
Look it up.
it is. He pays me. with Mooney.
Look it up. It definitely.
Get it? Get it? It's a joke.
This is I almost wanted to check to see if these are the same people that or the same designers maybe of Smash Up, because that's what this seems like this is.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you take two cops that have different decks and you put them together, and then you're
Well, it's okay. I don't
using
mind that.
deck to go fight bad guys.
Yeah,
in separate
honestly, I
spots.
could not. I went through the page up and down a couple of times fairly quickly, but I couldn't quite suss out what kind of game this was. I gave up. It doesn't look that interesting.
Well, it's I don't know if you're playing the cards down onto different parts of the thing, but I do know that you're using your deck to defeat baddies, and yeah.
This is definitely one of those games though. They want to talk about what you get, and then later on they're like, "Oh yeah, also it's a game."
Yes, no, 100%.
I wish
And that's
Kickstarters would not do that.
That's a big thing on
I noticed
Kickstarter,
that
and it's
lot.
a red flag,
I noticed
folks.
that a lot on these picks, though. It's like you're going down. This is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to get.
Stretch goals. Look at what's in the box.
Please tell me how to play the game.
And there's a little box that says how to play,
yeah.
and like 2 lines about gameplay. I'm like, wow, that
Well,
really does
They
sound
do
different.
have a lot of videos.
There's one later
well.
on, which looks like a good project, and I have a small beef about that issue. I'll mention it when it comes up.
All right, dance card. This one, I believe we had an interview for this on the last Board Game Breakfast. Again, this is another one where I like the theme of this. You're trying to go to a dance and, dance with the other people at it.
That's the one thing that completely turned me off from it.
Well, I don't mind that.
Don't enjoy cutting up a rug a little bit?
The only way I can actually cut a rug is with a pair of scissors.
How about perhaps some
Or
sort
maybe
of...
a box cutter.
Yes.
But yeah.
I always have box cutters when I hit the dance
I'm
floor.
glad we're on topic here. I think this one looks interesting, actually. I like the stand-ups. I like the theme. Again, I guess you don't like the theme, but I like the
Yeah,
theming
I
of it. I don't need to dance. It's just fun. I mean, it's
Is it a
silly game.
fantasy dance?
That dude was
Are there
dancing.
elves?
Look at him. He that is definitely mid-stride.
Yeah, they should have got like everyone to do it. Well, they got a lot of quotes for
Opposed.
sure.
Yeah.
Although there's nothing else like it as always should be like preceded by. This is a cool game. There's nothing else like it.
Yes, I agree. There's nothing else like it out of context. It's not good, folks.
But anyhow, it looks like it's a very simplistic game. I like the art a lot. It has that Disney-esque look to it.
Yeah, I do like that. It does look good. I'm just not on board with the theme. I have no, and it's not that I dislike the theme or I just have no interest in
Sure.
it.
No, I
know.
get that.
Well, sure, and everyone has themes they don't. So I'm hoping this one did fun, so we'll have to wait and see.
All right.
Upstairs, downstairs, an Obsession expansion. I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for the price and the fact that I played the original game, I would not even looked at this. I can't stand that picture right there. That's like the most boring.
This really, I read the subtitle and I was like, what am I looking at? A servant-focused expansion to the award-winning. I'm like, huh? What is this? At first I thought it was a gaming cafe. Was my first thing. And
Well,
then
that picture doesn't help.
Then I
right?
put 2 and 2 together and I was like, oh, Obsession is that ugly game with that really ugly cover.
Now, here's the deal.
It's
Obsession is
ugly.
It's a game.
Ugly.
It's a popular game. That's ugly. Okay, fine. But I'll tell you what, almost every event that we do, like at the retreat, I saw people playing
It doesn't
Obsession.
get played a lot.
It's a pretty solid game. It brings that Jane Austen thing to life. It's just weird to me that they didn't put that artwork in or hire an artist or anything. And they are definitely sticking with the theme there.
I mean, how's it doing? It's doing well.
Oh, it's doing really well.
Yeah, no, this game's got a lot of love.
No, the game is good, but I'm kind of amazed that that thumbnail there does
It
not
is a
sell me on the
strange-
game at
It's
all.
a strange image to go with to represent your project. I agree.
However, I mean, so the game is all about your servants, and you got to use the right servant at the right time, and they help you get actions because you're trying to get your son or daughter married off in the game, and that's what it's based on. So now they have new ones.
All right.
So what this is building off of is the success of that TV show that was just made into a movie, the Downton Abbey? Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of the same thing as a game.
I love it.
Well, I liked the game a lot, actually.
You
so
have
the
played it. You
expansion,
like
yeah,
it?
that was fine. It was a good game, actually. I thought that it had some weird components. Had like really tiny cards, like doll cards, this small.
Seriously?
Seriously,
Why?
Are you supposed to hold them or
it was
something?
like a bonus card you draw, and you might get some bonus points at the end. So they didn't need to be big, but they should have been anyway. And
Did
then
they
there
get
was
shuffled?
Yeah?
Oh man.
No.
Oh man.
How big was it?
Like this small. I'm not kidding.
I gotta check this out. I need to get those little tiny plastic hands and shuffle these bad boys up.
Ruins of Mars, strategic board game. By the way, that's one of my pet peeves. Just put Ruins of Mars. You don't need to tell me it's a strategic board game. I should just know. You know, I don't know. Anyway.
Well, I guess they have to.
And
include
60
that
to 90 minutes, 2 to 4 players. It's all in the title.
Yeah, in the title, no. In the description, yeah, it needs to be there. But
The game looks actually pretty interesting, and it's not that expensive. And I'm kind of mind-boggled that it's only at 12,000. This seems like a hit type thing.
because
It looks
it's
like a
not that
card
expensive.
game. I think they're saying a strategic board game. It looks like a card game, though, mostly, right?
Well, it's a card game with boards. It's as much a card game
Placing
as
cards on the board, though,
Wingspan
right?
or any of that
okay.
thing. I don't
This
know.
looks good. I mean, it looks
I
a
think it
little.
looks fine.
There's been a lot of Mars-based games lately, and the look of this, the iconography of it, while very professional looking, also seems to be retreading a lot of explored space already. No pun intended.
No, you said that on purpose. Come on. Just own it.
So I don't know. It looks good in a vacuum. On the other hand, it also looks like I've seen it before. Does that make sense? It has a real vibe.
Sure, that's the
of,
problem, though.
been
There's so
there,
many
done
Mars
that,
games.
Stuck a flag in it, huh?
I'm hoping this does well. They apparently are hoping for exactly the way it's going.
Stick a flag in it. I got that one too.
Because if you look at the stretch goals, they're all fairly low.
Sure.
So they must. This is, I guess, what they're expecting.
I'm
I don't know.
surprised
They're
that it's
only
not doing better.
They're only charging so much money for the game.
29
That's
so it'll
true.
take them longer to get there.
Sure, I agree on that.
This should be doing better. It looks well put together.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. So
I'm not sure. There might be something I don't know about.
Atheris
That's
Games.
an awfully big box. That is an awfully big box for the amount that they're charging for the game. This is something that I have
Oh wait, is that?
a little bit of a.
Are you sure that's the actual size of the game?
Again, I don't know because you'd have to. I guess you'd have to watch one of the videos to see.
Are
how-
these their
how
other
big they-
games though? Oh yeah, they okay. So I play. Oh, okay, this is great.
I played Cold
So-
Set Conquest. That was fun.
Mutant Crops was okay, not a bad game. The components weren't the best. I have not played White Elephant. I want to play Supernatural Socks just based on the name.
These are game titles?
Don't be messing with my Supernatural Socks.
I've seen your
Yeah.
supernatural socks.
Moving on to the next
By
game.
the way, those socks I bought you, one says left, one says right. The right one goes on the right foot. You monster.
I wore them backwards on purpose.
I know you did. You're upsetting the balance of things.
Catacombs Cubes. This is a relaunch.
Better know what
And I think it initially did not fund, and I think part of that was there was just confusion. Because, again, they called it Catacombs, and so people were assuming it was the one game when it's a very different game. It has nothing to do with the flicking. It's actually about building a little town and using these cubes to actually physically build the houses, and then once you build the house, you build it out.
So this is another game in the Catacombs universe, quote unquote.
Yes, and I almost, again, I wish they hadn't, I wish companies would just say something and then,
They should have just called it Cubes.
That's a fantastic title.
I'm actually,
Cubes, a catacombs game.
he showed me this at Dice Con, and when I was looking over it, it looks pretty interesting. I like the idea of physically building the house, you know, putting the right blocks together, and then boom, you got the house, and you're trying to get these different building materials.
Yep.
That works. I like the idea. I think Ellsworth Games is a company that I like their stuff. I mean, it's mostly all flicking up till now, but I like it. And
They have a good look. They have a good grasp
I think
on
this
what they want
this
to do.
game looks pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
it does. It does.
Arc Ravels. Is it Arc Ravels?
Ravels.
Ravels. This one I'm pretty pumped about. I saw this at Gen Con. They had a booth there. Did you stop by?
No, I didn't see it.
If you miss it, though, they advertised everywhere at Gen
Yeah,
Con. And
it
this,
looks
I saw
good.
their signs
Yeah.
everywhere. This looks like a basic turn cubes into other cubes and then turn them in for cards that are worth points. But it's a theme that I think I could sell to some people who like knitting or, you know, there's actually a pretty big community.
It's still-
Eric's
yeah, I agree.
wife is
It's-
part of this.
It's different. I like the theme. I like what it looks like. It's graphic design is clean and consistent across the board. The whole thing looks professional. I'm a big
Trash.
stickler for that. I like games that look
Would you
pro.
like to talk about game trays?
Shush.
What are we talking about, fellas?
Remember what he did like about half hour ago?
Talk about it. Talk about it.
So,
I can't handle it.
anywho, I saw the prototype of this game at Gen Con, and it looked really good. The artwork looks great. I like the concept of the changing this to that to the next thing, and I like that it's a different theme, but it's also a theme that makes sense. You need this yarn to make a mitten. You need this mitten because this lady wants to buy mittens, whatever.
Sure.
I always found, though, that stuff made out of yarn feels a little scratchy to me.
It does.
I don't like the way yarn.
Probably depends on the yarn that you buy.
I don't like the way yarn feels, and especially cotton. I can't touch cotton.
Cheap
like
yarn.
Naked cotton.
Cheap,
like a cotton ball.
Yeah.
If I touch a cotton ball, goosebumps immediately all over.
Really?
Oh, it freaks me out. Really bad. Really bad.
You might be an alien.
Well, we could
from outer space.
In fact, whenever I need like a cotton swab of like to dab on something, I got to make sure it's completely wet already.
Yes.
Because dry cotton.
Does that apply to Q-tips?
I don't touch the cotton with my hand.
It touches your ear.
I can't. I don't have the sense I have on my fingertips.
All right. Anyhow, this game looks good, and now we all know something new about Z.
Now we got some.
You're welcome, world.
Dead Throne, core world and language packs. So this is up to 40,000. They need 61,000. This is a 3x competitive, 4x solo. I don't even know what that means.
Okay, it's a 4x solo game, a 3x competitive game.
I don't know what that means either.
It uses 3 of the X's.
Triple X competitive game?
Yes. Yeah.
That ain't right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's explain
What's the
something
one
about
missing
this game.
if you play with multiple players? What do you think?
I don't know.
Explore should be in there.
I've actually.
Expand. You're definitely going to exterminate some fools.
Yes.
And then the other one is exfoliate.
It's expand, explore, exploit, and exterminate. Yes.
So,
anyhow.
Seems like it would be one fewer
I don't think
X.
you exploit your people. Your part.
Let me clear up the situation. This is not a 4x, 3x, 2x, or 1x game.
I agree with that.
This is essentially Talisman. They call it an open world game.
Without a square.
Right, without a square. In this game, you just move on the board, flip a card, and fight something.
I like it.
You do.
How many do you roll the dice?
Sam and I have played this game, and only because we have mercy in our hearts have we not done the review yet. But it's sitting over there on the bottom shelf, waiting for the day.
Looks like they changed the box size too, as a matter of fact.
Are we talking about that very large monstrosity down
On the
there?
very bottom, yes, sir.
I'm going to play it live
It was
next week.
It was just
Stay tuned for the
this
announcement.
looks different than some of this. Maybe they upped the game.
It looks like it's been upgraded, possibly some of the components.
Oh, this game is so bad.
Aww.
Yeah.
Well, this is my pick of the week, guys. I didn't know you had played it before.
Are you serious?
This is your pick of the week?
No,
I was about to say.
You just got played.
My goodness.
Oh my word!
That would have been truly
We would have laughed at you for a long time. Though.
revelatory had that been actually the case.
There's all kinds of cool stuff
man.
like these trays. We've seen them. They look cool.
Yeah.
It has these tuck boxes, but you literally go to one section of the board and draw a card, and it could be a monster that will beat the snot out of you. You could find an awesome thing. It's like Talisman, except
Bigger.
the rules really badly written. The
I didn't
graphic
read the rules.
design, not very good. The component quality, okay.
Yeah.
It feels like, I feel like I'm ragging this game a little bit.
Yeah, you
A
are.
little bit.
It feels
I
like
should have brought popcorn.
the
Good
kind of
night.
game that I designed when I was 15. And I was like, I'll put all this, I'll go out and find stuff and you flip a card. That's the kind of game I designed. I have no idea how I got 40,000. So,
Some people like those games. We should talk about a different thing. What else you got?
Sovereign Skies.
Here's another one of those
What else
games that
you
I
got?
don't know the exact size of the game, but because they're only charging like $29 for it, it looks like, some of the people holding the box, it looks like a fairly large game. How are they charging $29 for this
What if
game?
those people are just
No,
minute?
no, that's not the case. It's just, I don't understand why the box is so as big as it is for only $30.
I don't know what it is about
You love those animated things?
where that
You
drops
find
all the
them
pieces in. I
mesmerizing?
do.
They are
I keep
mesmerizing.
staring at it.
They
It's
are,
like,
they
look
are.
at all those pieces falling and the board fits together
If
perfectly.
your component dumps look like that, I would be a big fan of them.
Yes,
But when they're done landing on the table, the game's not set up. You got to work on that.
that would be awesome.
I gotta figure out a way to make a component drop where it drops
Well,
and the
look,
board's
you
set
set up the game, get a big old vacuum, set it over it, and then play it in reverse, where all the pieces fall, and it's all set up
Yeah.
The other way I could do it is where I could drop a piece one at a time on the board.
until it lands in the right spot.
I do it.
212 days later.
Like,
So today, my review for Love Letters coming out.
it's like an expansion on what Rodney did that box flip.
All right. Anyhow, this game looks interesting. I like the art. I like it looks clean, small, and fast.
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, this is one of the ones that I can't remember when this was first announced, but I was really interested in it just based on the artwork alone. Just based on the artwork alone. I mean, it looks great. It looks like it would be fun, but I don't know. We'll see. I just don't understand why the box is so big and it's so cheap.
Right.
Got it.
Right.
The Quest Kids. This one really bothers me. The name.
Why?
It's a
Is
kid,
it
it's a
the
kid's
Quest
game.
Kids?
It's a kid
Or the Kids Quest? I guess they're are they called the Quest Kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of kids who like to go on quests.
It's a
the
kid's
Quest
game.
Kids.
It's a questing
Yeah,
game. for
sure.
kids.
Well,
They're like a little club.
Okay, that makes more
Quest.
sense. I put it on here. I'm not. The artwork to me is okay on this one, but again,
This is very much a kids game, though. I mean, they are
there's
going
very
for
few
like
kids
ages.
games on Kickstarter.
I agree, and this says 5 and up. So they're really, I mean, that's what they're going for. It's kind of a little role-playing game. Lincoln.
I like this. They have the names. They got Lincoln and Kid One, and I get that because you don't necessarily want to put your kids' names on here. Then you got
Truth.
Hipster Prince.
He's 8 years old and already a hipster prince.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you know.
Well, I had a little 5-year-old that at church a few weeks ago came up, and I was like, "Well, so what's your name?" He's like, "Honey Badger," and I was like, "What's your real name?" Honey Badger. I was like, "Your name's not Honey Badger," and he looked at me seriously. He was like, "Honey Badger don't play." I was like, "All right." Apparently, I found out that's what his dad calls him.
Okay.
So, Mark played this one. All right, cool. It looks. This is what I'll get for my kids, and we'll see.
Yeah, that. It looks like a good introductory role-playing thing for kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dungeon crawler.
Very
Mark
cute.
Street says in the comments, my first dungeon crawl. All right.
Right, there you go.
Village, Pillage, Surf, and Turf. So this is actually 2 different expansions. One is Surf and one is Turf.
I love
Really?
the.
I didn't realize that.
I love the tag there. Kickstarter exclusive wooden turnips.
Yeah, well, I like. I like.
Finally.
Well, yes, I like Village Pillage, but I don't like the little cardboard turnips. They're like really small. So yes, I'm actually pumped about wooden turnips. So take that, Z Garcia, you jerk.
It's okay to be
I always think that Bluebeard Entertainment has some of the best artwork in the business. Like Lady and the
do.
Tiger is one of my favorite art pieces, and Village Pillage looks good too. I like how the art looks. I don't know if you played this with at PAX last year.
I
It's
believe
like a-
I have.
It's like a rock, paper, scissors. You all play a card, and your card might affect the people next to you, depending on what they play.
Okay.
And you're trying to get turnips. And then Turf, which is I love this logo for Turf also. It's that pig.
Oh, it's a pigly.
Turf adds new villagers with animal
doesn't have any
pals.
eyes.
And then there's Surf. Oh, look.
No.
They know what they're talking about with reviewers.
Eyes.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Godspeed.
This is something I'm really interested in.
This has gotten a lot of buzz. This is from Pandasaurus Games. And a lot of the buzz just came from like the cover. Their advertisement for a long
Yeah.
time was just a picture of that
Yeah.
space, and the space race was a lie.
Yeah.
And that was it. People were like, what is this?
Exactly.
So this looks really interesting. I honestly, at this point, just from a thematic point of view, this looks interesting.
Yeah.
The idea of like, no, the space race happened. It just wasn't news because we were going to other planets like 10 years before it
Why
happened.
everything was costing so much.
Yeah, it's neat. So I like the idea. I don't know exactly what kind of game. This
Worker
is,
placement game.
Well, I
Yeah.
know this is the part I was telling you about earlier in the episode. It seems like 48 minutes ago, where I was talking about. This is the description for gameplay at the bottom there. Let me see if I can read it. They do the whole,
Godspeed is a
this
unique
is a
worker
wild
placement game.
twist. Once you have assigned a team member to a task, they cannot be used for anything else until the next round. like every other worker placement game.
There must be something else to it than that they have to say that.
Sure, but then this is pointless. If anybody's played a worker placement game, they're like, yeah, okay, show me more pictures.
Unless, of course, they're saying this for somebody who has never played a worker placement game before, then that is a thing.
Yeah. I mean, it does say the most important bit of gameplay is that once you place a guy, you can't use them until
Maybe that's it, but that's there to be like, this is how this game's unique.
Mm-hmm.
This was almost my pick of the week. I'm pretty pumped about this.
It was really close to being mine as well.
It looks good. It was almost my pick as well, but it's not.
I mean, I'm
We don't believe you anymore.
This is not my pick of the week.
Right.
All right. Yeah. No, it looks great, and I hope it does really well. All right. There's only 4 left, so. Unicorn Fever.
Z's pick of the week.
Is it? This was almost my pick of the week.
Yeah, baby, I love unicorns, and I like Fever even more, especially Dan's Fever.
So this is a reprint.
Put it up there. He did all right.
I already did.
This is a reprint of Horse Fever.
That's right.
That I didn't realize that. I'm surprised.
I had seen this a few days ago. I was scrolling through it, and I finally saw the track. I'm like, hold on. This looks like Horse Fever with all the little horses. It's kind of it's a horse racing game, but
It's like a drag race.
it is, but it was really clever back when it came out. I'm sure it still is, because it didn't do what all the racing games did, which was you were racing. You were actually like rolling a die or playing a card, and the things were racing. You do everything you're going to do before the race even starts, like a real race.
And then you watch.
And then you watch a race, yeah. You like roll, this moves, that moves, and so you can get into that part because it's so quick.
Yeah.
Like an actual, kind of like I said, like a drag race. Yeah, and I like this new skin on it. It seems silly. It seems
The original game was
together.
from Cranio Creations.
Mm-hmm.
This is now Horrible Games. However, I think Horrible and Cranio were together.
Yeah, I think there's some crossover there, yeah.
Yeah, well, I have to tell you, when it comes to component quality, Horrible Games does good stuff. So
If you have the original version of the game, you can just take the horses from that and put a thumbtack on their heads, and it'll be fine.
Oh, how cute. The original game, I did have
how long were you sitting on that joke?
I just came up with it when I saw the little thingies.
Oh, okay.
June
Oh, yeah.
2018.
I thought
Look,
about it earlier.
the first one is good, but it's a little bloated. It's a little complex around the edges, I thought.
Yes, exactly.
And the components were not fantastic. It had artwork that you like or you hate.
I like that look.
I did, but it's not for everybody. It's that.
No,
the
that's
victory
true.
point tokens. They're shamrocks.
Yeah, but
But
now it just looks great.
Again, my issue is
Those are some of the fattest unicorns I've ever seen.
gorgeous.
They're
Yeah,
running
the
so
main
much.
problem was with the original, yes, a little rough around the edges. Some of the rules were a little rough. If this is just cleaned up and tightened up from a mechanical point of view, I'm sold.
I'm there too.
I want
my
that.
word.
I want that Chubster unicorn.
That's like an action figure. It's not part of the game. You can just buy them as.
I'm buying 2 of them.
I wonder if this will be at Essen, or at least a demo of it there. I hope so. That'd be
Imagine
cool.
It should, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Alrighty, Time of Legends, Joan of Arc 1.5. Sam, I don't understand what 1.5 means. Explain.
Well, it's my pick of the week. That's why it's 1.5. No, I'm just kidding. It is my pick of the week. But it is 1.5 because they have cleaned up the rules from the first edition. They've made a lot of not any really big changes, but a lot of minute changes that make a big difference, I guess you could say.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are they offering an upgrade pack to first-time
Wow.
backers?
Glad you asked. Now, actually, yes, it does.
Am I in the middle of an infomercial?
They do offer an upgrade. As long as you spend at least $20 on this, they send you the upgrade for free. And it comes you can either get a PDF format or you can get it in a hardbound cover. But they also have Teutonic Knights and a whole bunch of other stuff, as well as everything else that came in the first Kickstarter too.
I guess that's okay.
So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on.
Here's what I
not
wanna
that
know.
old, right? The original.
Why is it a
Kickstarter?
9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10?
Because I've already explained this, I rarely give out 10s.
I'm
Blood
making
Rage
a.
doesn't even have a 10.
What do you rate Blood Rage?
9.5.
That rounds up to 10. That's all I'm saying.
Only if you're rounding.
Anyway, this is if you missed the first one, here's your chance, essentially.
It's
There's
another
your
jumping
better
in point.
chance, in fact. Early adopter suckers.
More miniatures in Obsidian Protocol, the mecha miniature war game.
This is really close. Get my pick of the week as well.
This is
Because
like
of that right
this just
there.
looks like a box of. I know that all.
box of toys, man. Is what this is.
Look, I know that all board
You're
games are a
right.
box of toys.
I know that too.
I'm
You're
like,
right.
is there a game or is it just toys? That's what that picture looks
well,
like.
again, I understand that, but the idea of having your
Ooh.
own mech and you are able to customize it the way you want to customize it with these different attachments and arms and weapons and all that other kind of stuff. I'm surprised this isn't pretty close to your pick of the week.
Are there
'Cause this is
unicorns
right
in
down.
this?
This is right down your alley, really.
Yeah, I don't know.
no, baby.
This is like we got 2 mech type games that are sitting on our shelves and I just haven't
get
got
it.
them out.
I
That's
get it.
I don't know.
This is not your pick.
No.
I wonder what your pick's gonna be.
I don't know.
I'm fairly certain
We need
there's
to
one
narrow it
thing
down.
left.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So my pick of the week was easy. There wasn't even a close second actually, and that's Time of Legends Destinies.
This looks really cool
This
as
was
well.
definitely this selection of games is very much in your wheelhouse.
Absolutely.
And fairly well planted in yours.
This is from Lucky Duck Games, and it's like a combination of the Lucky Duck games and the folks who made Joan of Arc.
Yes.
Which is a pretty cool combo, but they took their idea of the Chronicles of Crime, and they're expanding it
Yeah.
to more storytelling. I'm so pumped about this one here because
Yeah,
it's like
it
an
looks really
exploration
good.
game. It's like Seventh Continent style type thing, but then using the app to do things. I am all on board with
I
that
so wish this wasn't fantasy.
It's not.
because
It kind of is, right?
It's based on history.
Okay, so it's medieval-esque, or there might be.
I would
like,
still consider it a
fantastical
version
elements.
of fantasy.
It's historical fantasy, yeah.
Sure,
but it's
yeah,
not,
yeah.
It's not like your generic fantasy.
If this was either firmly planted in sci-fi or in horror, I'd be all over this thing.
The one thing though that I find is extremely interesting is it's competitive, story driven. These games are almost always cooperative.
Sure.
So that has me pretty pumped about it too. I mean, I got to figure out how that works,
That's
right?
a bold statement right there. The first competitive story-driven RPG-like board game ever.
I can't think of one.
I don't think I would make that statement even if I was like 99% sure. I don't know.
The only thing I can think of is you could argue Tales of Arabian Nights is a competitive game.
But it's not RPG-ish,
No, it's a little RPG-ish. You do go
Sure,
through.
I mean,
I guess.
it just seems like a weird statement to make.
But
Don't
your
do
choices
that.
change the state of the world forever. I really like that.
Well,
This whole
I can
concept
do that
sounds
to any
good.
game.
Yeah,
Rip
but-
up a card and there, it's different forever.
Here's the thing, though. What I like about this game is that they have the foundation. The Chronicles of Crime app works fantastic, and I know they can do like in Chronicles of Crime. You go around and you look at locations, but then something might happen.
Right.
You might go to a location, there's someone different there, or you go to a location and they're like it's closed, or someone comes up and talks to you. That was like, ooh, I was like, ooh, I wish they would take that and go farther with that. Looks like that's what this game does.
Right.
There's also QR codes and them stuff, and a community scenario editor, which that's a neat start, right? I can play other people's games. I'm pumped about that. So, yeah, this is almost like my Kickstarter of the year so far of all the ones I've seen. I'm really, really excited about that. But that's because I like Chronicles of Crime that much.
yeah.
And then Joan of Arc, which looks interesting. I don't know necessarily that I would play it, but I mean, it looks really interesting. That theme works for me though. So yeah, I know it's not in yours, but this hits all my buttons. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool beans.
Alrighty, let's jump to the contributors. Take it away.
Hey, board gamers. BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back with another episode of Crowd Surfing Lineup. That's right, I'm bringing you projects that won't break your budget, but throw in a little something extra. Here's what I'm checking out this week. Fugue is a brand new game from Lost Age Games on Kickstarter right now. It combines an interesting theme. Players are battling over control of their shared mind, and it's a small box presentation that's easily portable and plays quickly. There's lots of decisions in this tiny package too. Players must score the most points over 5 rounds of play by taking ideas from their imagination, moving them toward vision, and ultimately making them part of their passion. It's tile-based and it's set collection, and there's some additional elements that really amp up the play. The addition of the spirit tokens, which can help you create fugues, ramps up the strategic decisions that you have, because fugues are in essence wild tokens that you can use to make the best sets in the most strategic parts of the mine. I got to play a review copy of this one, and the art and graphics in the rulebook are all still being developed. The final version, of course, may look a little bit different, but I found the game very easy to teach, with lots of juicy decisions already in the box. Each time we've played, players have used different strategies to get their ideas to become their passions and score the most points. Plus, there's a little bit of lagniappe. The game's close to funding, and if it does, some of the stretch goals include additional fugues that have special powers to really boost up the gameplay and decision making. Hey, so that's Fugue from designers Adam Glass and Jason Leonard, out on Kickstarter right now from Lost Age Games. The price is right, it's only about $15, and as is typical for these lagniappe style games, there's a lot of game in that tiny little package and at that price point. Until next time, laissez le bon temps rouler.
Hey folks, welcome back to the Dice Tower preview recap. Mark, today we've only got a couple games to look at. However, keep an eye out for the middle of October because there's going to be a ton of Kickstarter titles coming. So keep your eyes open for that. All right, so let's jump in. All right, so our first game we're taking a look at is Back to the Jungle. In Back to the Jungle, you play a brave explorer traveling halfway across the world because your main concern is conservation. You're going to be reintroducing a group of chameleons back to the wild and freedom. However, you will have to help these chameleons as they explore their new environment and learn the lay of the land, helping them consume food and kind of establishing their hold on this area. However, as you're helping them and aiding them to their freedom, you must not lose sight of them. So yes, this is a family-friendly game. It has very much got that memory component going on. However, you know, it really worked well. We play tested with some kids, a few different games, and the fact that you get to eat the insects, it really resonated with the folks that we played with. And, you know, there's some set collection here. And of course, the poker chips, where everyone was a big fan. That tactile feel for kids really worked well. So if you're looking for a family-friendly type game, this might be right up your alley. Next up, we have a big 4X game, Quest for Gaia. In the Quest for Gaia, you will take on the role of one of 5 galactic races. Now, this game also offers ways for you to create your own races, giving you all kinds of expandability and playability in this game. This is a big 4X game. You will be exploring the galaxy, finding new planets. You will be engaging in battles, trying to conquer and take over other worlds from other players or other races, and dealing in political intrigue, building contracts and covenants throughout the galaxy as you look for the ancient homeworld of Gaia, an ancient civilization that may tip the balance of power in your favor. So yes, this is a big exploration space game. You're going to be expanding your civilization, building it out, and inevitably you will be engaging and doing battle with your fellow players in order to be the ruler, basically, of the galaxy. However, you are looking for the ancient homeworld known as Gaia that will give you all kinds of powers as you expand your influence across the galaxy. Now, there's asymmetrical races in this. There's even a race guide allowing you to create your own races and just make the game really expandable. There's even some political intrigue here, but really it's the core part of the game is all the possible actions you can perform. There's even giant space creatures that you may have to contend with. So my pick of the week is probably no real surprise here. Quest for Gaia. You know, they're 2 very vastly different games, but truly one that definitely would appeal to me more would be Quest for Gaia. And I really like all the different possible actions in this game, all the different paths you can take. There's a little bit of a sandboxy feel to it and different ways to victory. And being the Chancellor, being the first player, is one of those paths, and how you do that with the political intrigue is pretty interesting, and so forth. So definitely a game to check out if you like 4X style games. All right, folks. Now, again, if you want to see more information about any of these previews, these games that I've mentioned here, please go check out my full preview. Now, remember, keep an eye on Kickstarter for October. There are a ton of things coming, midpoint and throughout, trying to get those projects in before the holidays hit. So keep your eye open, and if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. And until next time, we'll see you at the table.
Hey folks, and welcome to FOMO, the segment where I take a look at a game that's seeking crowdfunding right now, and maybe I have a fear of missing out on it. Maybe you do too, and we'll go ahead and take a look together. Today, I'm going to take a look at a game that just launched on Kickstarter yesterday. It's going to be a game of resource management and tile laying, and we're going to be trying to build buildings on an asteroid. Today, I'm going to take a look at Cosmic Colonies. So we're taking a look at Cosmic Colonies. Now keep in mind this is a prototype copy, and I don't have a lot of time, so we're just going to dive in and see how the game plays. In the game, each player is going to be trying to build buildings on their particular asteroid. At the start of a round, each player is going to select one of their cards from their hand face down, and each player is going to simultaneously reveal. Now these cards have a few things on them, the first being a number, and the lowest number will get to take their action first. It's going to have a value here that's going to allow them to collect resources. It potentially will have a special ability. Now this one here has no special ability because you get to go first. Now you can use the card for one of two things. Either you can collect resources. So if this player played this, they could collect 2 resources from one particular spot. So maybe they decide to take these 2. Then this one has no ability. Now the other thing they can do is they can instead take the worker and build a building. So that's going to mean they're going to need to spend resources equal to one of these. Now let's say that they had the resources to build this. They don't. They can then place this on their board. Now the first one you play has to go anywhere you want, but any subsequent buildings need to be at least orthogonally adjacent as you're building. Now the point to this is what you're trying to do is cover up things on your board so that eventually you're going to get to the end game scoring. Now, after each player has taken that and maybe taken their special action, built buildings, got resources, then they're going to repeat that process to play a second card, do the same thing. Then what's going to happen is they're going to have 2 cards left in their hand. They're going to keep those 2 and they're going to pass the 2 cards that they played to the next player, and that player is going to add them and start a new round, refreshing the board. The game's going to go over 8 rounds until eventually you get to the end game scoring. And scoring is going to be dependent upon how you have set things up on your board. Now, real quick, I'm going to reset this board and then show you. Okay, so if this is how this player's board ended, they're going to do points based on what's showing. So this first one here has 3 showing, so we look over and that means they have 6 points. This one here, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is going to zero them out. They're going to do each of those. Then they're also going to get points for sets of each of the 5 types, 15 points. And then they're going to score their bonus card, which for this particular player means for each one of this type of building, they're going to get 2 points. And for this type of building, they're going to get 1 point. Players are going to get their points over here, and whoever has the most points is going to be the winner. All right, so that is a look at Cosmic Colonies. And I'm just going to go through this real quick because we don't have a lot of time together. Now, for me, what is this game? What is it not? Well, it's not a heavy game, but it is kind of strategy light or gateway plus. This is something you can enjoy with families, but it'd be equally as satisfying playing it with gamers. What I really liked about this game is how tight it feels and how each round I really do struggle with my decisions. The resources on that board are limited. The buildings are limited and they don't refresh until the next round. But what I loved the most was that simple mechanism of I play a card, I do it. I play another card, I do that. And then I have to take those 2 cards and pass them to my opponent to the left. So not only do I have to think about what do I want to do, but what am I giving my opponent the ability to do? And it might even be advantageous for me to hoard a single card for the entirety of the game. Now, one thing I didn't cover really is there is an advanced rule set for the game with another set of cards. I have a day-night phase. You flip over the player board, it changes the end game scoring. I think mostly I'm going to play with that version, but if I was playing it with non-gamers, I probably would just stick to the advanced variant. I love the artwork in the game. I love the scarcity of the resources. I love how each turn feels satisfying, but like I just wanted to do a little more, and I really do need to pay attention to what my opponents are doing. These are going to be my FOMO scores on the game. If it interests you, go ahead and check out their Kickstarter page, and I look forward to seeing you folks next episode.
This episode is brought to you by GameFound. Create a free pledge manager for your project.
Hey everybody! In the time frame between this show and our last crowdsurfing show, a Kickstarter started and ended.
Okay.
And that was the Come On Time Machine project.
Ooh, time machine?
So this one, I'm not. I can't remember how they described it per se, but it was essentially a blowout sale of their different games. You can go back and get full pledges of Blood Rage and different things. And this was a way to get some of the Kickstarter exclusive stuff because you were still getting it through Kickstarter, so therefore it worked out.
It's still technically exclusive.
Sure.
But I mean, didn't they?
Well, they didn't say exclusive to this campaign. Anyway, I don't want to get into that part of it.
God.
So in this campaign, you could pledge a huge amount of money to get everything from one of these games. A lot of money. You could also pledge $1. And then when the pledge manager starts, you can go in and buy whatever's left. Although the people who pledge $1 go after the people who pledged bigger amounts of money. So there was some controversy about this. I'm not necessarily talking about that today. I want to talk about this pledging $1 because this has come to the forefront a few times. It also came to the forefront with one Kickstarter project. Again, not trying to delve into politics, but the Kickstarter having the problems with the union possibly. And so one project, I don't remember which project it was, they went out there and said, look, we're still going to go on Kickstarter. But if you don't want to support Kickstarter, just back us for $1 and then do it in backer kit.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
But the fact of the matter is, nowadays with the prevalence of backer kit and CrowdOx and all the different post pledge manager things, you can sit there and go, I don't know if I want this game or not, and you can pledge $1, and then after the campaign and the pledge manager, you can get more. Or, even worse, you can get something and then the pledge manager comes up and you're like, well, I might want to add the metal coins. The pledge managers have made it so easy to do this sort of thing.
Right.
And I know a lot of people do this because A, I do it, and B, I saw the stats on our own Kickstarter campaign, and people who do things on BackerKit or, again, one of the multiple pledge managers.
Sure.
So the problem is, what if more and more people start doing that? I want to back this game, I'll pay $1 and do it later on. Then the campaign itself won't fund as strongly.
Right.
Or it won't fund at all.
Well, at that point,
It's a possibility, at least. It's more of a possibility. If you have more people that are only pledging $1, the likelihood of you not passing increases, of not funding increases.
Sure. Which I think is where stretch goals are going to counteract that. Which is kind of unfortunate because it forces the companies to double down on stretch goals. Be like, we need to offer stretch goals. They need to be juicy targets so that people don't slow back us. They back us now.
Yeah.
the problem is that Kickstarter likely charges a higher percentage than the pledge managers do. It's not a huge amount, but let's say the difference is 1%. $100,000, that's $1,000.
Right.
You know, that's not nothing, right? So as a person who's running the Kickstarter, I might put a lower stretch goal and hope that the extra money is made in the pledge manager.
You mean a lower funding threshold?
A lowering funding threshold, yes.
Got it.
That could be another byproduct of this trend. I don't know how big of a trend it is, but if Kickstarter creators notice that that's a trend, it might make them think harder on what exactly do I need to get this to come to life. So instead of saying I need, what do I want? I want 100,000. I'm only going to need 60, but I want 100,000. They might try to be a little bit more decisive on what number they put up there for their goal.
The problem with what you were saying, though, is it's a double-edged sword, right? If you need 60 and you say 50, and I'll make the other 10 in backer kit or whatever, you might not. That's not money in hand, and once you fund it...
That's not what I was talking about.
No, I know. Yeah. Your thing makes sense, and I get what you're saying, where they might be a little more judicious with where they set that price break, but I would... That idea of like, well, I get to keep more of the money if I make it from backer kit, you also might not get the money. People might not give you extra money. You can't guarantee that.
Sure.
So if you fund and then count it in another 10 grand that isn't there, you're in the hole.
Yep.
That game funded, or that whatever, funded.
Oh, I get that.
Scary thing.
I'm talking about it mostly, Phil, from a user perspective. Is that legit? On here, there's a few things people said. One person said, Scott says I pledge for $1 if it's already funded. I back normal pledge if it's not funded. That's his rules. Of course, then I would just, if that was my rules, I would back the very last week of every campaign. You save money.
But if he's planning to give him the whole money anyway,
that buck lets you. That buck lets you back out, man. You go in there like,
back out anyway, any time before the thing funds.
Yeah, but if you back $1 in the pledge manager, and it's usually not right away. There's usually some months sometimes in there. You can sit there and say, you know, no, I did this myself. Guilty me. I backed one of those tiles, the Dwarven Forge tiles.
Sure.
I backed them a couple times. You've seen.
No, look, I understand. I totally get that logic. I'll back them for $1 now because I'm still so wishy-washy about whether I want this or not. I'm going to wait. I might have the money then. I might not. I totally understand all of those things. But this game's $40. I'm going to give them $40. I know I'm getting this. But they're funded, so I'll back them for $1. I'll give them the other $39 or whatever when they finally send me that pledge manager. Why not just give them the $40? You might help reach stretch goals, make the game better, make those people sweat less, all those things.
I think it's just a general nature. People like to defer payment till later.
Yeah, then you got to get out of Kickstarter. It's based on payment now, product much
I think though
later.
sometimes it's not so much that people don't know if they want to back the project or not. They don't know what they want to back. Like, I'll back it, but I don't know if I want the deluxe or if I want the normal.
And that's fine.
Do I want the metal coins or not?
I think that's okay if you got some doubt. But if you don't, just back it. Just give them the money.
That's okay. So that is what I do. I back a project full for what I plan to pay for it, and then the pledge manager comes. But then I'm kind of like, come on. Okay, I'm done. I don't even want to look at the extra stuff because I get caught up in it.
Yeah.
What I do is I go to my local game store, I pick out a game, and I give them $1. And I'm like, I'll be back. When do you
hold
close?
this here?
When do you close?
They do that, man. It's called layaway, bro.
I don't think they do $1.
Board games on
Yes.
layaway.
30%.
Yeah, but the layaway, you don't get to take it till it's done.
Right. Well, you don't get to take it until like months.
Do
after
people
it's
still
done.
use layaway?
Yeah.
I
Not
love laying
much.
things away, like give them $20 now. And I just got the other day
I see people talking about doing
a
layaway all the
Zune.
time.
I finally paid for that Zune MP3 player. It's on fire, man. It's really good.
All right, well, let's see. Some people here, this person says they just prefer to get the payment over with. And that I get, right?
I agree.
And that makes sense. Another reason to back after Kickstarter is you get a full refund from a pledge manager versus Kickstarter. That's interesting.
I guess so. Okay.
A lot of people can't back it at full cost because we're all broke.
Again,
broke.
folks, that's a get out of Kickstarter for a while. Forget about it for a while. I don't like that. Those are the ones that just make me a little sad about the state of affairs. This idea of I'm only backing them for $1 because I need to wait until I get paid to give them the other $100. I'm like, then if you're that strapped, stop buying these $100 games. You know what I mean? Like, ease off the gas a little bit.
Yeah.
If it's a money issue for a completely luxury item, ease off a little bit. That's worrisome.
I agree.
Some projects have it all in, but then you find out later, says Justin, that there are more add-ons. That's one reason to pledge out $1 and see how everything shakes out, and you can truly calculate cost. This one I kind of agree on, right? I do understand sometimes I get confused on a Kickstarter. They're like, you can buy this, or this and this, or this and this and that. I'm like, what? Oh. Then you get to the Pledge Manager, you're like, oh, okay. Although sometimes in the Pledge Manager, I sit there and go, what did I back? Like, it has the metal coins where they include it in my pledge, and I'm trying to read through, look at the original campaign. I don't want to buy the metal coins twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Z for president.
What?
Because you know how to handle money, I guess.
You need to get on that soapbox, bro.
Anyhow,
Hit the
it's just an
campaign
interesting
trail.
thing. I disagree with you, Gator Dave. He says, if this makes you perturbed, Z, then you should talk about creators that allow this practice, not the consumer taking advantage of it. I don't know about that. That's like blaming my credit card use on the credit card companies. I think there's some sharing of blame to go around there.
Or it's like blaming McDonald's for the obesity epidemic, or
sure,
whatever.
You could argue that the people shouldn't be offering that sort of thing, but you shouldn't be taking it either. You know, there's a little bit of blame to go around.
I always say there's plenty of blame and guilt to go around to everybody. You want a little bit? Take a little bit.
Alrighty. Well,
take a little bit with you, baby.
This is a topic, honestly, that we've been talking about for a while. So you can talk about it in the comments below underneath the show. Thank you guys for joining us in crowd surfing. If you haven't signed up to come to Dice Tower East, registration is live. Go to dicetowereast.com and join hundreds and hundreds of others who are playing games. Our library is getting bigger and cooler. Many of these Kickstarters that we talked about today will be in it in 2030.
2030.
No, not that long, but
No, come on now.
10 years.
But a lot of the Kickstarters, they're starting to come in and stuff, and we look at them and we get the best versions usually of these games, and they go in a library for you to play. And that'll be Dice Tower East. Anyhow, thanks to Mark and Robert and BJ. Sorry, my mind went blank for a second. And the weird spaceship in the background of Mark's video, and Sam and Z. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thanks, everybody.
I'm Sam Healy. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower.
Point shoot cameras anymore because
Oh, unless they want to hide.
But the only reason you buy a camera now